to take a few minutes to share some of my personal favorites upper back or thoracic spine mobility exercises that are safe for the lower back, as well as some leg strengthening and hip range of motion exercises. Again, keeping in mind low back safety. What I have in my hand here, I'll show you a little bit. It is 2 tennis balls that are stuck inside a tube sock. So yes, the sock had to be sacrificed for this, but it's just 2 tennis balls in there. And what it creates is this great little massage tool. I did not invent this. I stole the idea, but it is genius. It's wonderful. So there's a lot of different ways you can use this. Of course, the idea is to put it, whether you're on the wall or on the floor, so that the groove in between the balls actually rolls over your spine, and the ball of pressure is just going in between your shoulder blades and on the muscles around your spine, but not actually compressing it at all. So one of the great things you can do up against a wall, so I apologize, I don't have a great wall spot that I can really show you that, but is to place it behind your back, and you can simply roll up and down on the balls and apply as much or as little pressure as you want to. From that spot, you can of course shift it up and down, have someone help you with that. If you have long hair, sometimes you get stuck behind the tennis balls. But the other thing you can do against the wall or on the floor, and I'll show you both, is as you're pressing backwards into the tennis balls, is to just give yourself some range of motion in your arms. So you can do both at the same time. You can do one at a time. You can do lots of great shoulder mobility and chest opening activities with the balls behind your back. So again, great to do standing up, but we can also do some very similar stuff laying down. So here I just have actually this is a kitchen anti-fatigue mat, but it works very well for exercise purposes. So again, you would take the tennis balls and place them on either side of your spine. I would never put these in your lumbar spine or your lower back at all. And this is a great place to start right here. So with your lower back completely supported, your head completely supported, and that's a big key. Your head weighs as much as a bowling ball. So as much as possible, trying to let it relax in your hands and not straining your neck. Just lying here with that pressure between the shoulder blades, you can begin to feel a little bit of opening. And then from here, one of the great exercises to do is to let yourself roll up a little bit, and I mean very little, and then relax back. This is not meant to be a crunch in the abdominal sense. All we're doing is alternating the pressure on our thoracic spine. And you can, in order to move it, you can simply scoot yourself with your feet a little lower or a little higher. If the 2 tennis balls are too much pressure for you to start with, you may want to put little towels on the floor, something that they can sink into, so that you're not feeling quite as much pressure initially. Again, another great thing to do is with your head completely laying back, keeping those 2 balls kind of right between your shoulder blades, the upper portion of your thoracic spine, with 1 arm or 2, doing some overhead reaches and bringing your arms back. Feels great. It just kind of massages the muscles around those shoulder blades and helps to open up the thoracic spine a little. And you can even do things like, I would call it almost a windmill or a circle that helps to open up your chest as well. So some great things that we can do with the tennis ball. This next one I do show in a lot of my full body stretch classes, and that is a side lining. I'm actually going to lay my head on the tennis balls right now because my arm. Side lying thoracic spine opener. And what's great about this, I like to actually put my hands on my knees to keep my hips from rocking or any lower back involvement at all. And all you're gonna do here is take that top arm, you can let your head go with you if you want to. You can keep your head where it is, but you're just gonna open and close your arm like Pac-Man. But let gravity take your arm towards the floor, keeping your lower back nice and neutral, nice and steady. And you would just want to do several repetitions on each side. You might feel great at 5, you might want to do 15 or 20, whatever feels good. But this is a really great way to help open up both the chest and the thoracic spine. So following up with that, because of course so many people are sitting at desks, that we tend to get that tight upper back and some tight hip flexors just from sitting all day. So one of the greatest safe exercises and stretches you can do is what's called a split squat or a half kneel. And leaning into that, you would take the same arm of the leg that's back, squeeze that glute, which will kind of cause that hip flexor to relax just a little bit. And the key with this is not to arch your back, but to lean into it so it's more the hip flexor. Some people might feel a really big stretch from that. Others may not feel as much of a stretch. I'm going to show you a modification with the couch here in a second. But alternatively, one of the safest ways to exercise our legs, keeping the spine and the pelvis safe, whether you want to load the exercise or not, is that split squat position. So just going straight up and down, having one leg forward and one leg back, keeps your spine and your pelvis in a nice neutral position. Ideally here, when you're pushing up with the front leg, we're looking for some nice 90-degree angles, keeping your knee over your ankle and pushing through your heel as you stand up. You can also do this as a dynamic movement. I actually love doing these as a nice step back and reaching over your head, provided that you don't arch your lower back in the process. But we know that going through range of motion can have a greater effect on mobility, sometimes than just those static motions. I also really love this one up against the corner of a wall. I can kind of simulate that here with my chair. I don't have a great corner that I can show you that on, but if this was a door frame, my arm going up the door frame, I would go down as my arm goes up. It actually works pretty well on a chair too. But what you'll feel is that as you go up and down and as you're reaching the arm at the same time, you get a little greater stretch in the front of that hip flexor. So a great way to do that. I also love doing this stretch either against a wall or with a chair or something like that. Taking again a nice big step back, pushing against the chair or the wall, squeezing that back glute, and you can hold static or you can again go up and down. You can alternate legs. Great way to build some strength and improve your hip flexor range of motion. So one last variation that I personally find really, really helpful that's safe for your back. And I'm just going to move my little pad over here. Notice anytime I squat down, I try not to bend over. I'm usually going down this way or I'm going down like this because just bending over, you know, the older we get, it's too easy for something to go just in that simple act of bending over. But if you have anything that you can put your foot up on that will be kind of soft and allow your foot to relax, and you come into that same sort of position, what this will do is give you probably one of the best quad stretches you'll ever get, much greater than holding your foot. You can do this without arching or compromising your lower back. You're just going to fold your body, you know, your heel as close to your butt as you can. That little gentle glute squeeze is what's called reciprocal inhibition. So if you contract this muscle, this one kind of actually has to relax. So it's a great little technique to enhance the stretch. Of course, raising that same arm will enhance it even more. So you lean back, but not arching your back, just folding your glute towards your heel. And if you can find anything that's about the right height for you, you can get your foot up on, nice and relaxed. A softer surface works a lot better. just feels nicer on the top of your foot. This can greatly enhance your range of motion. Just be a little cautious with how you get up. You may want a chair near you. I tend to, gently come up on all fours and stand from the split squat position, just to make sure we're keeping that lower back safe. Because let's face it, if you're sitting all day, these muscles in the front remain really tight. They can pull you forward and they can kind of start tugging on muscles in the back that can cause some issues. So if we can improve that hip range of motion, hopefully we can help with some of those low back issues as well. And a little mobility in the upper spine can help with that desk posture that everybody's struggling with these days. So try those out when you have a chance. I'd love to know what you think.